Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
All right.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. We're to a boss fight.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. It's Thursday. I am Grimskull, the super awesome pixel pushing samurai for David Foster. I like that cam. I like that cam now. It's very, it's a very great way to, like, you know, put emphasis on things like like somebody did, it was basically complimenting David on his shorts. And I don't mean, the shorts he wears. Where are you going, though? How they like his production value. He has a great production value. He always has. But, I'm humbled because somebody was saying, wow, man, this is you got your own show? Because your production is, really good. And he says, yeah, working on the show, and my production's good because I got a Grim. So there you go. He's got a Grim skull. I'm a graphic designer, motion graphic artist, video editor, content creator, gamer, veteran. I got a new gig. If you want to go over to nasaspaceflight.com. You got it, John. Thanks. John Simon, if you're into the combat sports, go over to the Ringside Report Network and watch Dave and the guys talk about wrestling, MMA, all that kind of stuff. They put on a great show. A lot of great info. So get over there. Thank you, John, for being a supporter of the show. I appreciate you, man. What was I talking about? Oh, I don't remember now. I'm old. New gig. Yeah, I'm doing some video edits for NASAspaceflight.com. Great outfit. Thank you, Kevin Michael Reed. So you can see some of my handiwork on the last Starbase update. I will be doing the next one too, so I can't show footage or anything. That shot until we edit it. But I mean, you can go to NASAspaceflight.com on YouTube, and they have a live stream, a few live streams. If you're into the space programs, the private and government federally funded space programs, go check them out. Joe, Dr. Energy, how are you, sir? Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hope things are going well up in the Great White North. The long sleeve Grim Soul t-shirt, cool. We'll wear it out before the warm weather. It's been kind of chilly here. It has been kind of chilly. What's going on with my mic? I think my mic arm is just decided it's giving out now. I think it has decided. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. The weather does not know what to do here. It does not. I got some new stuff going on. Folks. Cold after that. Yeah. It's been cold, warm. We had a big storm the other day, lasted about 5 minutes. Had a tornado to the west of us. Did not get affected, thank goodness. Well, before I get into doing the thing tonight, I've got a few cool new things. I got a couple of my cameras working back again. Of course, I got the side cam. Right? we now have the midnight cam. While my kid is away at school, midnight is become my pal, my friend, my buddy. She's been really good. And there she is. She's always behind me, chilling, usually. So yeah, I got the idea from Joseph Clough. So I can't take credit for that. Everybody's got a dog cam, right? And my friend Nova, our friend of the show, Nova. Everybody knows Nova Charter. He's got the Spock cam. So I got my cam back, my Logitech cam back, so that I could, use it. So there's Midnight. She's a mutt. Yeah, she said, yeah, I heard my name. You said my name. I've got the skeleton cam back up there. Although I might switch that, right? I might switch that. Turn that into the, because it's a really low quality camera. It's just it's an old 720p Logitech from like 20 years ago. Might do that. All right, so I got that. Yeah. There's a few ways to do that, John, and I'll kind of talk about a few of them. So yeah. All right. So I used to have these those kind of thank you John. Thank you, John, for the buy me a coffee, buy me a sushi. Appreciate it. I need to figure out what's going on my alerts. I think I will. I got to figure out how to use that TV back there and put all the alerts up there. I have to install OBS and get all my alerts up on the screen back there again, or on the screen. But thank you, John. Appreciate you, sir. What was I doing? All right, I want to show you real quick. It's never real quick. Who are we kidding, right? It's never real quick. We're squirreling all over the place. So I got some new lights. I got some. Here, let me. I'll show you what I got. I'll show you. So I ordered me some Varipoles. Right, some Varipoles. Right, it still works. Although the audio doesn't. I don't know. I gotta fix that. Gotta fix that. Things are in flux. Got me some Varipoles. Got me a set of these for Melpo floodlights. Or Nellywo. So I got 4 of those and the Varipoles. And I got me some clamps, an extension cord. I'm getting me an iPad too, by the way. And here, I'll use the dog cam. Oh, here we go. I know it's really bright, but I got this pole now. With the lights attached to it. What happened? Sorry. Oh, camera down. Truly apologize if you're losing your lunch for motion sickness. There we go. Focus! Focus! Power! So I got the lights and light pole hooked up, and look, it looks really, I mean, the lights, I used to have those sun lamps with the bulb, the generic colored bulbs in them. And it makes a huge, look at that. I mean, my studio kind of used to look like this because I had the lights on the ground and aiming up, and they didn't really, they lit the bottom half of the room, right? The bottom half of the room. Didn't do so good. But now look at that. That looks way better. Way better. Let's there you go. There's without the stuff. But look, I mean, I like it. I like it. I still can't seem to get this area lit very well for some reason. I'm thinking about getting another some sort of string of lights that flows down the curtain, but I don't know. I don't want it to look too. I don't want it to look too girly. So there we go. All right, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I did have an energy drink, a 5-hour energy drink, and I'm drinking a Starbucks, Joseph. Because I did not want to be tired for this stream. She just won't lay down. Lay down, girl. Lay down. Lay down. I know you want. She wants a pet. She wants to be petted. All right. So, I've dabbled in some text-based editing software. Descript is a web app or a web-based. It has an app, but you do it on the internet. It's internet-based, so that you can edit videos text-based. It will transcribe your video, and then you can go in and edit it via text, create scenes, put in new video. Depending on what subscription plan you have, it offers media. But you can upload your own video and transcribe it. You can upload a video of yourself reading your script, whatever. You can then go in and add captions and B-roll and stuff like that. It does a decent job. I use it mainly because it offers a quick and easy way to put captions on shorts. The nice captions you see that they put, when people are saying something, the words pop up, right? But, sometimes I use, I'm using that. What I usually do is I'll go into Premiere, I'll pull the footage into Premiere, and I'll cut it. And I'll cut it in a way where I'm doing it visually, right? Or listening to the audio and cut it. And I don't know if you know the channel and I'm, not that I want everybody to go somewhere else for information, because I am a wealth of it. Right? I am a wealth of information. Let me find this, find these guys. They do all kinds of, oops, watch later. There it is. Did I save it? I didn't save it. Did I not save it? I guess I did not save it. If I go my history. Glad you guys didn't see that. I'm a huge what are their names? Did I not watch it on? Oh, come on. Here we go. Okay. Olufemi. Olufemi. Let me find him over here, and I'll show you. All right, here you go. These guys, Olufemi, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Great bunch of editors. I guess started by Josh here, but I mean, just tons of good tutorials and stuff. But that's what Dave, I think. This guy, David, it came across me, and I was like, wow, let me try that. And I'm hooked. I am hooked. I'm hooked. Now, here is the kicker. The kicker of it. You need to have. You need to use the beta. It's in beta right now. It's not. It's not in one of the public releases. So you go to the beta, you can download, and it installs it separately. It installs it separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my process of editing a short. You know, the old way. The old way of me editing a short was I have a template that I built. I'm going to duplicate that template and let me move it up to where I want it. Let's do something from yesterday. All right. We'll do this one. We'll do exposing the truth about, not exposing the truth, but hang on, you want to attack Mexico? So what I would used to do, start out with my blank template here, which has my overlay, my music bed, my end plate, and this little pink thing over here. Is what I use to cut or measure with. And what I would usually do is go up here and let's get rid of our music. Make sure we're up.
We did 180 years ago, you know, to kind of celebrate.
So what I usually do is I would sit here.
Here's a question for you. I love good questions. Let's do a little Q&A.
2 times.
Should the United States invade Mexico just like we did 180 years ago? You know, to kind of celebrate, also maybe finish what we started invading Mexico. This is the question right now before the United States Senate. When
I sit there and listen for, a good starting quote.
The United States, of course, 180 years ago, did invade Mexico. We did it in the 1840s.
And sometimes I have to go back and forth to re-listen a lot of times.
Here's a question for you. I love good. For you. All right, here's
a question for you.
I love good questions, and let's do a little Q&A, shall we? Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico?
Now I'm like, okay, that's a good spot. And then I'll pull it into my timeline.
What is 180 years ago, you know, to kind of celebrate, also maybe finish what we started invading Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. And this is right now before this is the question. I'll put another, start point. The question right now before the United States Senate, when, the United States, of course, 180 years ago did invade Mexico.
And then, the end point, another sentence that I think I'm going to use, and so on and so forth. You follow me? It's a bit of a tedious process. And really, because I'm not really I'm not looking at the words or whatever. I have to listen, and then I have to start and stop to get it right. And, a lot of times, I'll get a bunch of clips, and then I'll get way down here and I'll be like, oh, well, there's a clip, but now I've already got about a minute's worth of stuff, and I'm like, oh, I got to go back through and cut out, and, that was just the way it was done, right? I mean, that's how you edit, cut out the clips you want. But because it's a live show, they're not reading from a script or anything. So, it's a lot of impromptu stuff. So there's a lot of extra words here and there. So, it gets a bit tedious when you're doing it. And so once I get all my clips, put on the timeline and I cut it down, I sit here and get in granularly, right? And then go in and do some 2-finger editing of, cut. Oops. First I'll lock my layers. I've really learned to lock my layers now. I'm like talking right in the microphone to lock my layers now. By double clicking, holding shift and double clicking to lock all my layers, and then just unlock the layers I want. That way nothing else is affected. So when I do cuts, it'll just affect the unlocked layers. And, I go in and start, snipping out silent. There's not a whole lot of silence in here because he's just run on talking. What's up, Sean? Hey. But yeah, then I would get all my clips together, that fall in with this, pink bar. That means it's within 60 seconds, and do it. But again, it would just, it's at the time, it was intuitive at the time, but now it's like, the text based is so intuitive. So I'm going to delete that. Delete that. And what I've got is we're going to use what's called the text panel. Now I got my text panel set up on my second screen so I can pull it up. And you can set this up to automatically transcribe your source clips. But, if not, you go to the transcripts, and if it has the button, then you can transcribe. Oop, I don't want to do that. No. Transcribe. There we go. Go up to the three dots. Transcribe. It's not supposed to be doing that. Let me try this another way. Oh, there we go. Say, all right. It should transcribe the source clip, but I didn't have that selected, but it's supposed to usually. It usually does it automatically. So I may go back and start from scratch on this one. Hold on a second. Let me see what happens here. I mean, yeah, it did what it's usually supposed to do, but let me, I'm going to go and we're going to delete the clip. Delete that clip. There's no dialogue found or anything. So I'm going to go here and double click. Go grab the clip again. Open. If you double click on it, let me go to my preferences. It's supposed to be automatically transcribed. Am I on? Yes. Transcriptions, yep. Okay, auto transcribe all imported clips will do that. So now it is auto transcribing all imported clips. It never wants to do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. Now, it had already had the transcription feature in there where you can transcribe stuff and then create captions. But it didn't have like the text, text-based editing added until the this beta. It's probably going to take a few years. These are old transcriptions. So I'll have to retranscribe, but it's still going. Come on, hurry up. All right, there we go. So, and I've got it so, I can play the source.
We did it in the 18.
Right? You can click in the source.
All right, here's a question.
Press play.
Good questions, and let's do a little Q&A.
Audio not found.
United States invade. All right, here's a question for you. I love good questions, and let's do a little Q&A, shall we? Here's a question for you.
All right. All right. So you can have the source selected. There we go. I don't know. Let me switch. That way you can see the text up here. You see the text there in the text panel on that left-hand side there.
All right, here's a question for you. I love good questions, and let's do a little Q&A, shall we? Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade?
And it stays synced this way for me. And I know John said he was having trouble syncing, so you just got to make sure you go in and transcribe. You can retranscribe a clip if you need to. I'm going to go down here to the Mexico clip, right, and retranscribe it. There's no audio. There's no audio, so it should have nothing. Nope, no dialogue found. All right, so my sequence is clean, but I go back up to my source because you could do it from the sequence or you can do it from the source, right? So here I'm doing it from the source. You pull in your source, you can go in and transcribe that clip from the source. And I'm gonna read along. If I read along with it, I can already see, all right, here's a question for you. I love good questions, and let's do a little Q&A, shall we? Here's a question. See, so I can get rid of all of that from the start. I can either select it, right click, and there's a thing that shows silence. There we go. You can select what you want to get rid of. And I'm going to go that whole first sentence. I'm going to hit escape overwrite. Why is it? Okay. Oh, okay. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing something a little different. So I'm going to go in and it's selecting my clips. I'm sorry. It's selecting my clips in the source monitor up here. And I have what the automatically set in and out points selected. So I can go up here and then when I select a sentence or a section, all the audio that I want it to say, I can then hit my insert key, which is my period key, and it inserts it onto the timeline. So to make it clearer than what I was saying is when you're on your source clip, you can select the text you want to go on your timeline. Like we did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? yeah, I want that. So I'm going to go select it, and from the source clip, it selects it, and then I'm going to I can actually also drag it down, but you know, one of the shortcuts is period, and inserts in the timeline. If you do it correctly, right, you put your playhead where you want it to go. And I'm going to select all that. It's going to select it up here, and I can hit period, and it selects it down, you know, it puts it down in the timeline.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico just like we did 100?
Now, I can go and retranscribe the sequence. Right? So I can go to my clip and it'll keep all that stuff, or I can go down to my sequence. And let's say now that I'm in my sequence and it's transcribed, and I could say, let's say, play it.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico just like we did 180 years ago, you know, to kind of celebrate, also maybe finish what we started invading Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States.
Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff I don't want in there. It's like, here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? That's what I want. And then I'm going to take the rest of that all the way up to, you know, this is the question. And then over here, I can right click and do a ripple delete, and it will delete it out of my sequence.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate, when, you know, the United States, of course, 180 years ago did.
So I don't want that sentence, so I'm going to go in and ripple delete that.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? Now the United States swooped in and took all of that area.
All right. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to say, let's see. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, just don't want. I want to get to where Lindsey Graham is talking about. Okay. So no need to put any armored vehicles, blah, 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 blah. No. We can save money, blah, 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 blah. And so what is just your good favorite center? All right, there we go. So I want to, let's see. And so and I don't know that that's what he's saying there, but I'm going to insert this clip because that sounds like it's a good next sentence to put in. So I'll insert it in there and I'll kind of listen to it again.
Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? Now the United States swooped in and took all of that area. So to the American military-industrial complex, it would be a dream come true.
Okay, I don't want that. I don't need that. So I'm going to actually go in here and ripple delete all that, right? I did not really need that.
And so it is yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. senator.
Okay, and so I want to say yesterday. So I'm going to go in and just surgically remove what is here, and we'll see how that sounds.
Invasions. And so yesterday.
Yeah, it sounded weird.
And so Yes.
So we need to, you can go in and tighten things up. Sometimes it leaves these little.
And so yesterday.
So I'm going to go in and we're going to ripple delete that out.
And so yesterday.
And then tighten it up. And so far it keeps everything in sync.
And so yesterday, Ukraine's favorite.
A little mechanical.
Senator,
I might edit that later.
Ukrainian senator.
He says Ukrainian senator twice. So I'm going to go in and we're going to select the one word Ukrainian and we can delete that out.
U.S. senator, Ukrainian senator.
He says, and I'm just going to tighten that up.
U.S. senator, Ukrainian senator Lindsey Graham announced that he's about to introduce legislation that would call for a military invasion of Mexico.
Okay. All right. So far, I've got a nice coherent. Well, I mean, it's Lindsey Graham.
Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? And so yesterday.
All right. We can get rid of that. I think it sounds just, oops. And go up and ripple delete. I got to remember I've got a keyboard shortcut for that. Now that I don't have to do the mouse, I'm trying to put as much keyboard shortcut power into my my pad here so that I don't have to right click and all that stuff. All right, so we're continuing.
Yesterday.
And so I've got a keyboard shortcut to, make a cut. And then another one that cuts everything before or cuts, back to that edit. And then you could do a ripple edit. I got that on my mouse where I can have just a ripple edit drag tool and drag that over. That works really good. And it's just tightening up these areas. There's another one where we can do a cut and then ripple delete back. There's another one, you can do a cut, ripple delete back. And then I just kind of say, I got like at least a little over half left to fill.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? Yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. senator, Ukrainian senator Lindsey Graham, announced that he's about to introduce legislation that would call for a military invasion of Mexico.
That sounds good, right? I mean, despite the content, all right, despite the content, that sounds pretty good. I mean, within a matter of minutes, I was able to go through, cut out what I didn't want, all by kind of reading what the text is and being able to pinpoint it with, the text selecting the areas of the video. Right. Now the other kind of way to do it, like I was saying, is I'm doing it both ways. I'm doing the source from the source where you can go and look for those sections you want to insert into your sequence, right? Or you can pull the clip into a sequence and then from your sequence transcribe it and go through your sequence and then lift out parts you don't want. Does that make sense? Anybody got any questions that I'll try to answer? I just found that doing it, this text-based editing feature makes it just way easier to find those parts that you want to keep and the parts that you want to cut. You know, this doesn't necessarily cut out silence, but it shows you where the silence is in your sequence with these little 3 dots. And you can use that to go find the silent parts and maybe, you know, clip them out. I still like using recut for like cutting heavy parts of silence out. If Premiere would just, I don't know if they're working on it or not, but if they would just have that feature of being able to cut out silence and not without having to jump through hoops. There are other applications out there. There's a way that you can pull it into Audition, convert it to a MP3, cut it, and then you can export the markers as subclips, and then pull that back in. It's kind of a tedious little process, which, you know, is great if you're doing large chunks of video, but not if you're doing small segments. It just, you're trying to get it done quickly. This right here, Recut, does a way better job. And I go in and put it in Recut. I cut what it cuts the silence out. I listen to it and kind of cut out any major retakes, and I export it out as a video again, then import it in, transcribe it into here, and then do the rest of my editing. And then I export it again. I take it into Descript to put my captions on. If they could just get a way to cut out the silence and give you a more robust caption feature, you know, to where you could, you know, do more, more fancy graphics for that. I mean, it does a good job, but it's, you know, the way you can do it in Premiere, it's a bit tedious too. I find that Descript, you know, it comes in, it transcribes it. You can select your text, add captions, go over and pick the style. Boom, you're done. You're done. Once I get this exported out of Premiere, which it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do one short. Once I get it exported and then bring it into Descript, it takes me like 5 minutes to get the captions on for that. So all right, let's continue. I'm going to go back to the source and see. Okay, so Lindsey Graham wants to invade Mexico. What's he saying? What's it say here? Oh, no, up here.
And he said this with a totally straight face. Here's the report. Lindsey Graham puts Mexico on notice with a military force warning. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico in order to
Okay. He said it with a straight face. Here's the report. All right. Insert. You can actually insert from the text panel too. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. I don't want that next sentence, so I want the... All right, I'm going to insert that. Go back down. That's it. And I don't have much left. So, well, no, I got about a third of it left. Trying to find a good closing. Good closing sentence. All right, who's saying this? Who's saying this?
To other
No.
I mean, no more wars, please. The United States does not need another war, and we certainly don't need to invade Mexico. Here's what you could do, though, is stop destabilizing Latin America through your own interests. Just
I like that. I like that. So we'll insert it. All right.
legislation that would call for a military invasion of Mexico. And he said this with a totally straight face. Here's the report. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico in order to track down on drug cartels. I mean, no more wars.
In order to track down on drug cartels?
On drug cartels. In order to track down on...
I don't think that's what we wanted to say.
Report. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico in order to track down...
All right. There's a big old breath there. We can get rid of that.
In order to track down on...
Track down on. That doesn't sound right. I think we could, if we can go in and cut the word on. Right here. You know, it'd be easier to do. I could actually go over here, track down, and then select the word on, highlight it, and then extract.
To track down drug cartels. I mean, no more wars.
There you go. Pinpoint accuracy.
I mean, no more wars, please. The United States does not need another war, and we certainly track down drug cartels. I mean, no more wars, please. The United States does not need another war, and we certainly don't need to invade Mexico. Here's what you could do.
I think we can ripple delete that because it's just redundant, right?
Cartels. The United States does not need another war, and we certainly don't need to invade Mexico. Here's what...
All right. I'm going to start from the beginning, and then we'll kind of we're just going to edit it down. I think I've got all the content I want for it, but I want to take out all the spaces.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is
the big breath.
Mexico. This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s.
All right. So we're going to do a cut and then ripple.
So what is a few hundred years between invasions? Yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. Ukrainian Senator Lindsey Graham, announced that he's about to introduce legislation that would call for a military invasion.
Big space right there. We're going to cut and ripple delete there.
Of Mexico.
And if you're wondering what that is, all right, I've got the razor tool. Well, let's see. Clip. I've got the razor tool as Control K for my cut, and then ripple delete, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. But you can go into the preferences and set these however you want. That is not what I want to look at. The keypad's what I want. All right. So I've got Q. Q is ripple delete. This ripple deletes back to the previous edit. And then W. W ripple deletes to the next edit point. And just be careful when you're using that, because you want to, if there's no edit point, going forward, it's going to delete the rest of your clip. So you want to make sure you want to use that mainly when you're, once you've made all your major cuts. But I use Control K to make a cut, just a standard cut, and then Q to ripple delete back to the next edit, W to ripple delete to the next edit point. And then I've got the right shift delete is just ripple delete. Whatever clip you are currently on, you can select a bunch of clips and then hit ripple delete, and that will delete all of them and then close that gap. That's how I've got mine set up. So it's like I do a lot of what's called two-finger editing, which is you cut and then ripple delete back, cut, and then your next cut, ripple delete, cuts and ripple deletes back to the next edit.
He said this with a totally straight face. Here's the report. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico in order to track down drug cartels. The United States does not need another war, and we certainly don't need to invade Mexico. Here's what you could do.
Big breath, so I'm going to make a cut, ripple delete back.
Is stop destabilizing Latin America.
Big silence, make a cut, ripple delete back.
Through your own interests.
There's like a sliver here. I don't know why. So we're going to right click, or I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit that ripple delete key just to delete it and get rid of it. Now, if there was anything to the right of it, it would close up that gap. All right. So there you go. There's kind of the way. Now because this was the old way of doing it. I mean, where I would sit here and make my cut out here and then select it all and drag it over. I don't really need to do that anymore, because I modified my original template to where, let's unlock. We can, and when you're ready to move things or use other layers, just make sure you unlock. But I'm going to drag these down a bit, and then I'm going to take this pink thing and I'm going to use that. That's still going to be my guide layer, because it's actually 59 seconds and 54 frames, because every time I go to make it 60 frames, it acts like it's over a minute. And so I go 54 frames, just under 55 frames. And that way but that's if I go all the way to the 60 frames or the 60 seconds. If I don't, then I can just, drag my endpoints in. But what I do is I turn that off so it doesn't see it, and then we'll lock it, because I'm not going to use it. That's not part of it. That's just a measuring thing. Because what I found is when I try to sit here, because I'm using these the automatic ins and out, it keeps erasing my in and out points up in my timeline. So I can't rely on that anymore doing it this way. But that's okay. That's just a minor inconvenience.
Here's a question for.
Okay.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico?
So my next step in this process is fixing my video, right? I got to add a few presets to kind of make the video fit my window over here, because I'm done editing. But you know, from now on, what I'm going to do is basically this is my template, and then I could just straight cut down, you know, into my sequence, and then, you know, use the transcript to keep editing down anything I want or don't want. And let's see.
Though, is stop destabilizing Latin America through your own interests. Though, is stop.
Let's see. All right. Oops. I need to link these because they keep getting unlinked for whatever reason. And then when I do link them, it says -2. So I'm going to take that out and go grab another copy. All right.
Stabilizing Latin America through your own interests.
There we go. So I have some presets. I don't know if you've seen my other videos where we're talking about presets. I'll scroll through it and see, like, and see what all we got, what shots we have, and kind of plan in my head what presets I need where. What I like to do is go through and grab thumbnails that I've created and use thumbnails at the start. Oops, I don't want to export. Now, I've got a preset for this one already. I created one, I think, yesterday for it, because it's the thumb pan left. I'm sorry, the folks are making stuff in the kitchen.
Here's a question for you.
Now it goes really fast. What's up, Michelle? It goes really fast because I've got it to where I've set the keyframes really close so that I don't know how long it's going to be when I get it in there. So I can then go in and just drag my keyframes to where I want.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s.
Now, right there, okay, it's a weird cut, right? There's weird. They've got a full screen, and then they do a picture-in-picture. So what I think I'll do is I'll go right here. I can hold my Alt key and drag a copy up, and on that copy, I will click and add a frame hold. That clips it. And then I'll delete the clip in front of it. Now I've got this thing is just a hold frame, so it won't it's just like a still shot of the video. And what I like to do is go in here and we'll size it up. And because it's a nice kind of image. And it's pretty long. That's what she said. I'm actually going to, well, no, I'm going to do a position, right click on it. I'm going to ease out, do an ease out. And then go forward a bit, put another keyframe. We're going to ease in. And then I'm going to go back to the end and do the same thing. And I'm going to drag it out. So now from here, we're going to pan it. Pan it there. Let's go back to the first keyframe. And then pan it.
This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s.
All right. We want to make it longer. Again, that's what she said. And then let's move this out. That'll make it move a little slower, and it'll give it a nice kind of, you know.
This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few...
All right. And I want to go all the way and cover right here to about right here to cover that transition, that weird transition.
In the 1840s. So what is a few hundred...
All right, there we go. Now I believe the rest from here is just him on camera till about here. So I'm going to grab an adjustment layer and stretch it all the way to, where was that? Oops. To right about there. Right? Yep. And on that adjustment layer, I have some other presets. I've got what's called the YouTube one cam transform. And let me oops. If I drag it onto that layer, that's covering all of those clips where it's the one cam, boom. So now I just have to use this one adjustment layer. And I always make the mistake of when you put it on there, you want to scroll down to the transform layer, the transform effect, and do it there. Initially I always do it up here, and then I remember, oh, I got to go down here. And then we can sit here and kind of center them up a bit so that
is a few hundred years between invasions. Yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. senator, Ukrainian Senator Lindsey Graham, announced that he's about to introduce legislation that would call for a military invasion of Mexico. And he said...
And again, that's a full screen of that little graphic there. And what I like to do is create a copy of it, do a hold frame, select the one, alt select the one in front of it, and then just delete it.
Of Mexico. And he said this with a totally straight face. Here's the report. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico in order to track down drug cartels.
And I'm going to stretch that all the way across to cover any edits there. And on these, I like to throw on a mask. You know, not a Halloween, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to select these points. I really wish they would fix, how that they would give you a better way to select points without it, every time it drags. All right. Now it doesn't look like it's masking anything out, but when I go here and I select it or scale it up, there you go. I'm then going to drag it up to the next layer. I'm going to go to my elements, and I've already created a portrait background light that I use. And there we go. Puts a little drop shadow on it, which is cool. Then I can move this up. Now, what I do like to do is with these still images, give it a little bit of motion. So I'm going to go. That looked kind of weird. So let's. Yeah. There we go. So we can actually go in and scale this up even more. Right. And I like to do the kind of the pan trick. So we'll start here, put a position. I'm just going to use the auto Bezier. And we'll go to the end, about right here. And then pan it to the left. That'd be a slow kind of pan.
And he said this with a totally straight face. Here's the report. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is planning to introduce legislation in Congress that would allow the U.S. to use military force against Mexico.
Now, captions are going on, so they don't necessarily need to read it. So,
cartels. The United States does not need another war, and we.
All right. So he's back on camera the rest of the time, and that with that one cam. So all I got to do is Alt and drag that last one, that adjustment layer over it, because it's got all the settings I need on it already, and I just make a copy and put it over there, and boom.
Here's a question for you. Should the United States invade Mexico? This is the question right now before the United States Senate. We did it in the 1840s. So what is a few hundred years between invasions? Yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. Senator, Ukrainian Senator Lindsey Graham, announced that he's about to introduce legislation that would call...
Okay. So that we don't have a talking head up here the whole time, I'm going to go in and find a picture of Lindsey Graham. I think this is the one I actually used. Is it? I think it is. Yeah. Do I still have that? I think I still have that. Did I? Let me pick. Go to assets. I got far too many assets. It's going to sit there and read it. Read. I got to remember to start going, when I go. That's what she said. Right? Right. That's what she said. Boy, it is taking a long time to read that. I think maybe if I go the alternate route. I can find Lindsey Graham faster. Public. Political figures. He's in Congress. Yeah, I do. I do got a picture of Lindsey Graham. All right, come on. All right, we're gonna set the frame size. And I have a zoom, pretty short zoom, because we want to zoom, do a zoomy zoom zoom. All right. We're going to go down here, go to the keyframe we need, and we want it zoomed up. Let's zoom Mr. Graham up.
Lindsey.
And we need to move him. It's a weird trick where you got to use the anchor point and the position so that it kind of zooms him in to where you want him. And you got to watch the blur lines and then play with it. There you go. Still. I go down. Nope, that didn't help at all. We're closer. It's like when I let go of it, it's not. It's weird. And again, this is where I'm going to maybe add a layer. Add a track. Why did you not add a track? Add. It's adding it above, isn't it? All right, add. There we go. I'll put Lindsey Graham up here. I'm going to take a copy of this background. And where do we want him to pop up at?
Senator, Ukrainian Senator invasions. Yesterday, Ukraine's favorite U.S. Senator, Ukraine's favorite
I think we're going to go right here.
U.S. Senator, Ukrainian Senator Lindsey Graham.
I think right there. All right. Just to break up the talking head shots.
Ukraine's favorite U.S.
It seems like there may be an extra keyframe in there. I don't know. feels like it. I don't see it.
Favorite U.S.
There we
senator.
go.
Favorite U.S. senator, Ukrainian Senator Lindsey Graham, announced.
That's not really centered. That's kind of what's. So again, we kind of want to. It's the anchor point. Right, it's the anchor point. There we go. Now it's going straight out. So I think now all we got to do is move this over. No, it's not on his face. I guess we could, really. Could. So I'm trying to think of, you know, another way of doing this in After Effects, like export it once I get my rough cut, and then take it into After Effects and do all my kind of cuts that way. See, this is really killing me that it's just kind of. And now it's like way off, right? Way off. Transform. It's finicky. That's all I got to say. Transform is finicky. And then there's the thing you gotta. Where did that mask thing just come from, right? Do I want to mask it here? Yes. But why? Why is it masking that? Is it that's masking the whole thing? Maybe I don't want that, so let's get rid of that mask. Boom. But there's still a mask there. Why? Why? We mask it here. It's just kind of weird. Yep, it just... Yeah, the mask just doesn't work right. So maybe... because I'm spending way too much time on doing that. I'm going to delete the mask. We won't use that zoom. And then we'll just do it the traditional way. Boom. Right. Move that over. Move that in a bit. Go to this next one. Move that over a bit. Then we'll scale that whole thing. Move it up just a bit. I don't want to mess with that little edge there, so we'll take the anchor point, and we're not using the transform, so we can go here. We just won't have any motion blur. But let's kind of put it in the center where we want it. And then, like I said, we'll start at the beginning. Hit it with the scale.
Favorite U.S. Senator. Favorite U.S. Senator. Ukrainians.
I think we could put a drop shadow on this too, make it look a little bit, you know, add a little something to it. That didn't seem to really add anything. I don't see the drop shadow. Kevin! My music's not playing for it. Can you hear him? There we go. All right, here's a redo. I had this great idea. I have this great idea. I don't know if I can pull it off. I should try though, right? I should try. Oh, it stopped. Sorry. Kind of had an idea. Oh, everybody. It's the midnight cam. There's midnight. That's midnight. It's very hard to see midnight because she's black. Midnight. Come here. Over here, midnight. Come here. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Right here. She's not going to do it. She's not going to behave. Good girl. I see her feet. Yes. Well, she'll go lay down here in a minute. Okay, I get this idea I keep having when I watch the intro video. Right?
Today is the beginning of the end,
Right.
and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons.
You know, all this plays.
Captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers.
I still haven't corrected the spelling and made the edits that have been requested by folks in the audience.
Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the
You know, all this plays.
ladies and gentlemen.
Here in the roll up to right? Right? Do kind of an alpha. Kevin, you're the VMix guy. You're the VMix guy, Kevin. You're the VMix guy. You are a VMix guy, right? So I create the video and I take the video along with the camera, alpha the video, put the cam under it, and yeah, right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. I just have to be prepared. I just have to be prepared, right? Make sure I got clothes on, pants on, stuff like that. Yeah, I think I will do that. I don't know when I'll do it, but I think I'll do it. I do not give a fuck. I do not give. All right. So yeah, that's an idea I have. But I am digging the text-based editing. It really, I'm going to start using it on all my videos. All my videos. I am. It's going to be a shorter weekend this time, I swear. I know I'm going to be starting a little bit early tomorrow with grabbing footage and probably about noonish with the youngins. Okay. I guess I guess I am. I don't know how old anybody is there. I mean, well, I did tell folks to go check out the nasaspaceflight.com to see the latest Starbase update. It gets a lot of views. And man, it's like, who did you put the descriptions in, right? Right? I appreciate being tagged in that. I mean, my Twitter feed went fucking ballistic. So that was pretty cool. I was quite stoked about that. I gotta tell you that again, it's just kind of getting in the flow of, getting familiar with the content, so things will speed up. But I mean, it was a fun edit. I had fun doing editing, Jack. I haven't seen any other hosts. What is that? What is that tube? Did we get any comments on the shorts that I did? Did anybody are those out? I don't even know if those are out. Did we? I meant, where that would, I don't know if, as long as you're happy with them, right? I mean, I just, TikTok. Okay. But which one is that? Because I'll need to go copy that one. I don't like the idea shorts. I just like, you know. Doing au natural. Sorry, I kicked in the music there. I just kind of did it how I usually do them, but I mean, I don't know if we need the orange bar at the bottom. I don't know.
Gorgeous shots right there.
Gorgeous.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
This is incredible.
Look at that. The side booster plumes are interacting with the plume of the center core. Look at
Oh
that
my
close up.
gosh. Look
You
at
can
this.
see the boosters themselves.
Oh.
That looks like a waterfall.
What?
Look at the RCS pulses. Look at that.
That is.
See them
I am just
reorienting.
speechless here. You can see the fire protecting them against fire.
God.
There's skyscrapers falling from the sky right now.
One booster going down.
I'm sorry. I should let everybody else watch
And
this.
And
touchdown.
landing. Oh my god. Touchdown of both boosters.
One of
Wow.
the coolest RTLS landings I have ever seen.
I like that. That was cool. That was cool. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted the text to kind of stand out. Yeah. But I also have a template that, you know, as I'm editing it, shows me where to put things. I'm having fun doing shorts, for sure. So anyway, you can catch Kevin and I's handiwork over at NASA spaceflight.com. I'm on the Starbase. I don't know, is that what I'm on, the Starbase team? Here's the deal. I like what we did. I like what we did with the Axis. That was a good idea. Whenever he does, it's like they're short explainer videos, soon featured videos team. If that is less pressure in getting them done in a few days, I would love that. I would love that. Not saying I didn't like doing the edit, but this weekend it was a fun edit to do, but I am just, I don't know how, I don't know if I can do the editing past midnight to get it done. I don't know if I can do that anymore. That's why I'm starting early. I'm going to start early tomorrow with, putting together the, what do we call that? We call it the B-roll cut, but I know, man. I mean, shit. How do we keep that from happening for you, though? That's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not B-roll cut. It's a. Yeah, I don't know. How do we keep that? How do we keep that from happening to where you have to stay up till 4 a.m. for the editors? How do we stop that? I made the deadline, right? I did make the deadline my first time out. Yeah, that was the biggest quirk for me was waiting. Well, I'll definitely start earlier, but I just got to make sure that because the last week's footage came in late, like the next day. Right? I started editing it Friday evening. And then, but the next bit of, the last bit of footage did not come in till the next day. And understanding, I mean, it was kind of a weird circumstance because Jack was in LA, right? I mean, he was in LA and, but yeah, I was pushing it. Because when you said, that it needs to be because the writers in Europe, and that's because I was about to go to bed, but then you said that, I was like, all right, I'll push myself, and I got that one cut done. But man, yeah, should be. Truthfully, I was quite impressed with myself that I was able to, not have it be that it was as tight as it was first time out. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything. I'm just saying I impressed myself. I was totally expecting, for it to be just ripped to fucking shreds, despite Thomas Hayden. Which, I say that tongue in cheek, I really appreciated his input. I appreciated everybody's input, But I did not get as many dings as I thought I was going to get. So I tried to kick it. I remember the first stream I was operating, producing, they would say, can we show the methane subcoolers? And I'd show the oxygen. So yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to try to go too far outside the box. On these the Starbase update edit, because I know that Patrick is coming back, right? I mean, how many more of those do I got to do? I mean, I'll do them as long as it is needed. I'm not trying to. I'm just wondering, how how long we were looking before I moved into features. Yep. England and Paris, huh? Well, if he's going to England, I'll have him look up my kid. Now, is it a solo editor or what's the team makeup? Obviously, there's the script writer. Are there multiple editors on those? A graphics person, or is each feature you assigned to just a specific person that handles the editing and that sort of stuff? Yes, on features. Got it. Now, obviously, we've got, you know, a look and feel to things. Is there a different graphic look and feel? I really just should go look at some features, some features and stuff to see how they do it. And again, it's like I'm trying to, you know, figure out, you know, how much personality of myself do I need to take a look at what Ryan did? Okay. Should I inject into these, or do I stay within, you know, the lines? He's good, but we're trying to make things younger, so we hired a 56-year-old editor. A 56-year-old editor. I get it. I get it. We try to add some bad comedy to everything. Yeah. I like that. I like that. I hope everybody kind of got something out of the what I was talking about with the text-based editing, even as much as I foobarred it a bit. I'm just kind of wrapping up what I did, you know, with editing. The text-based editing, it's really, really powerful. The tool that, you know, Premiere has put into, you know, this next. Okay, Graham, I'm off to bed, and KMR, have a good one. Ryan is making some standards, lower thirds, open end cards, but whatever happens in between that stuff is whatever the editor wants to do. I got you. I mean, really, because I totally get about trying to keep, and I'm learning because I've watched Chris Doe recently, and I'm no longer considering myself a brand. You know, that I build a brand, right? Branding. Can't remember what he calls it. It's like, you know, it's more, it's not a brand ID, right? It's not branding is to him just all is more marketing. What are you, Grim? Who are you, Grim? Yeah, right. And I go back and look at what did he call it? It's like, you know, it's more identity creation, visual identity creator. And then you apply that to branding. I have to link that. Well, I can do that now. Give me a second. Where was that? Jesus, I've watched a lot of videos. A lot of Starbase notes. Oh, wait. Identity design is not branding. Quit lying, saying you create brand identities. That's what Chris Doe was talking about. You've had enough practice with the... Oh, well, yeah, okay, I get, yeah. There you go. That's the video. That's the Chris Doe video talking about you don't create brands. It's identity design. Identity design is not branding. And I agree with him. Why do I agree with him? Because he's more successful than I. And, you know. And he gets into that. He kind of gets into that. I mean, it's a good watch. It's short. It's less than 10 minutes, so it's a good watch. Sorry. My ear itched. Okay. All right, everybody. Shh. Be quiet. Be quiet. It's midnight. Midnight's. Look, now you can see her face. She heard me say her name. Yep. Yeah, she's a sleepy puppy. Yep, midnight. 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 She can't hear me. Oh. Oh. There we go. Look, there she. Look at her. You are very late. You're really late. You're so late, I turned into a dog. Yes, Midnight is my kid's dog. It's okay if Joseph's late because I missed the 801st episode, so, but I was there for the 800th. Oh yeah. You're a busy friend. I know, right? I like it. Right? Here's how it looked before. I have to admit something. I have to admit something. The Varipoles, I ordered those brackets, and it said like 2 inches up to whatever, and they were loose. They were not tight. They were just a hair too big around. Yeah. That's what she said. Can I do that? Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to do that like when I go, that's what she said, and it does a zoom effect? I think I can. They work. They work because I made them work. I made them work. I went... Hold on a second. Okay. I went and bought some of this. right? This is your kind of pipe insulator. You know, you can fit it around a pipe. It's $2 for the whole thing. And another thing with them is the bolts that you secure the lights with were too big for the holes on the lights themselves, right? They were too big. So I had to go out and get 6 bolts and wing nuts that would fit into it. So that's 2 things I had to do. But minor inconvenience. I then I cut these to the width of the width of the clamps, and then put that around the pole, and then put the clamps around that, and then tighten it down. Works like a charm. So problem solved. Problem solved. Virtual PTZ. Okay, I'll look at that. I will look at that. But the lighting looks pretty good now. I like it. I forgot to turn on this light over here. I'm not needing it. I didn't turn on my little I have another light, the right light. See how we look. So this is my light on. So this is better with the light? Better without? Better with the light? No light. Light. No light. Light. No light. Without. Both, well, obviously this cam is going to look, I don't know. All right. Now, I don't want to turn off my, I mean, this is the best shot of the whole show right here. Best shot of the whole. You can do this the side light for your pre-show while you ooh. Shut your filthy mouth. What I need to do is play around with the ISO. Right? Because I haven't done that. There. It was on 180. And I guess maybe with the ISO down, I can now turn the light on and it gives me decent. That's a bit better, right? A little banding, all right. It's on 160. So go what? Why does your 5100 look so much cleaner than mine? I clean the lens off. What lens do you have, Joseph? Are you using the stock lens or the Sigma 16 millimeter? Because this lens is a Sigma 30 millimeter, what I'm using on this one. So, light off. ISO up. This is at 180. Is there banding? I can't tell. Wow. The 16 millimeter. I've got the 16 millimeter on this one. This is the 6100, and this is I get a 16 millimeter on that one. This is the 5100, which has a the 30 millimeter. What's wrong, Midnight? What are you barking at? Ooh. As long as I don't move, if I stay in one position, it focuses, but I get to moving around and it's... I need to move it back some. I think I have it kind of too close. Midnight. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come lay down. I don't know if you could see her. She's got her head poking out from under the... Come here. She doesn't, when I call her in here, she doesn't want to come in here because she thinks it's going to get, you know, the gate shut. Where'd you go? All right. Right. Well, we've made it to 10:06. And I'm tired. Even after my and I've got a dog who's like, ooh. Come here. Yeah, she's with caffeine. She's come here. Come on. She's telling me, hey, I need to go outside and I'm ready to go to sleep, so. Well. Hey, when you love your job, anytime's the right time, right? I know, that's my wake up time. All right. I'm getting the growl. I'm getting the growls. The take me out growls. So, all right, folks. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in. I am Grimskull, the super awesome pixel pushing samurai and video editor. Catch me here on this weekend. I'll be doing some game streaming on my game channel, Grimskull Gaming. You can find it on YouTube and Twitch. Hear that? See, that's the command of take me out. So, yeah. And then I'll be back next week with some more editing stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's up? You gonna go outside? Wanna go potty? Wanna go potty? Oh. Tell me. You want to go potty? All right. Yeah. All right. Night, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hi, Sunday works. Or what? Yeah, that could work. That would work. All right. We'll see you. Bye.